about how to design the header parts of a maybe let me say fitness websites or any other websites. You understand? So we actually base on the heading parts using CSS and and HTML. You understand? Thank you. So, all what we are going to start with is creating our file. You know, I've explained to you in HTML we have in the website we have a particular file in which you are going to store a folder in which you are going to store your files. It may be your HTML file, your CSS file, and your JavaScript file. Another file, maybe your resource file, just as like image and um, other other files you want to share in your on your was on your sorry on your website. Do you understand? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a file and I'm going to name the file. I want to create an HTML file. So you can give it any particular name, but I wish to give my uh, index.html. HTML. Now, why do we have discussed this .html as and what is a what? That can you tell us something about that? Okay, so uh this extension, HTML is an extension. It gives the what? Thank you. It gives the what? The extension name. Thank you. Of what? Of this file we are creating, right? Thank you. Then I will hit enter to what? To create the file for us. Now the next thing we are going to create is what? Our CSS. Let's create our CSS file. So I'm going to call that style because actually we want to use it to style our websites. So we are going to say style.css. This .css stands for the what? For the extension name, right? Thank you. Then I will hit enter. So after that, now I think we are ready to at least ready to build our first to build the website. Now I'll click the HTML file. Now here I need a template. The let me say the actual template of which I'm going to use to create my HTML file. You understand? Thank you. So what I'm going to do now, welcome back to what we from where we picked it, dropped it last section. Now we've created our HTML file, our CSS file. HTML file is to create our what? Our skeleton and our what? Maybe the structure of your what? Of your website. Why CSS here is to style the structure of that what? Of the website. You understand? So next thing I'm going to come to my HTML, then they give this fundamental structure. There is template of what? Of HTML. For example, I told you that if you want to create an HTML, you start with HTML tag, that's HTML. Now we have the opening tag here and we have the closing tag here. Thank you. All the function of this opening tag is to tell us that what we are trying to initiate a what we are trying to initiate a tag in this place. Why this closing tag is giving us the what termination of what of this closing tag. You understand? As we have known that in HTML we have tags that requires to be what to be closed, while we have some tags that do not require to be what to be closed. For example, a tag that requires to be closed, we have HTML, we have body, we have the head, we have um, paragraph, we have these headings, drafts, and we have navas and what other footer and other related what tabs. You understand? Thank you. Well, we have some tabs. There are some tabs. You understand that do not require you to what to close it. For example, we have what we have the break. Anyone in class, we have the break. We have uh, anyone again. We have break. We have no, paragraph will be closed. Anyone, paragraph will be closed or your class. So I guess you use that as your homework. no, style will be closed. So I tend to use that as your homework, right? So thank you. Now here, after the HTML, right? The next thing I'm going to create is I'm going to create the head of what the head part of my website. Then after that, we are going to create the what the body. We are getting to the body part of what of the website. Now this is the basic structure of what of your website. Now we have the heading, we have the HTML, sorry. Now followed by the what? Followed by the head, then what? Followed by the body. This is where everything goes. This is where the contents of your website, this is where it's being what located. Why this actually shows the what some features in which your website are going to what to hold. So here, but I won't stress myself. Actually, this is the normal template. Do you understand? Thank you, class. Now, okay, let's continue. From here, I'm going to clean this, but I'm going to do something like this. Just going to press Shift and this and enter. You understand? Thank you. Can you see that we still have? Okay, good. Okay, you said what? Okay, now you said you didn't get what I just do now, right? Thank you. So I'm going to clean it. I'm going to rub it off. Then say we are going to put your hand on Shift. Then the next one you are going to put. I'll click this exclamation mark. You understand? Thank you. Sorry. Shift exclamation mark. Then you press Enter. You understand? Thank you. So another way to do this is let me say this, and this. You are going to say DOC. That's doc. That's done. Then press enter. At least it gives you the same thing, right? Thank you. But here I don't want it like that, like this, because I need a doc type. You understand? Let me do that again to show you what I really want. So I'm going to press shift, then exclamation, then enter. Thank you. Now the difference between this and the other one is this doc type. You understand? Thank you. Now now we have the HTML as compared to what I wrote the other time. We have the HTML tag instantiated in this place, while it being what terminated in this place, right? Are you sure? Are you getting it? Thank you. Now the next one is what? Can you see the head parts being opening in this place and me what being closed in this place, right? Thank you. Now the next one is what this body part being opening in this place and be what being closed in this place. So this is how HTML is being what is being structured. You understand? Thank you. Now the next thing we are going to do, the first thing I will do is what change this title. So I will change it to what? Let me change it to fitness. What? Let me change it to fitness, or let me change it to fitness, or yeah, let me just change it to fitness, or let me change it to something like what we are going to do. We just want to show how to design the head parts, maybe the head parts of what of a particular website. You understand? So we are not doing much. We just want to I just want to show you how to design the head part of what of a particular website. Did you get it, class? Thank you. Now I'll just call it header, header components, head component. Let me just put it as head components, head components, head components. Thank you. Now the next thing I'm going to do, yeah, so that I will not forget it to do it later, is to what? To link my CSS and what? My CSS with my what? With my HTML. Thank you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and say link. Now what I'm going to choose is we have different type of link here. We have different options to choose in this place. But I'm going to choose the one that have what? CSS. You can see the one that have CSS. So I'm going to click on that. Then can you see automatically it gives me the what style dot what dot css. You understand? Thank you. Now this is the name of the file I create in this place, though you can give it any other name. You understand? That's why I actually give it style the other time, so that I won't make mistake, or maybe I forgot to what to have the same name. Why? Because this name here, must be the same with the name in what in the name you give to your what to your file. You understand? Thank you. Now the next thing I'm going to do in this place is I'm going to call everything a section. You know, we have different sections in what in a website. So we have, for example, we have, let me say, we have the head parts, we have the main parts, and we have what maybe, thank you, we have the footer. Hmm? Thank you. Yeah, I'll just call this one section. Then I'll give it a class. Let's give it a class. And you know why we give things a class, right? Thank you. Just to differentiate, right? Thank you. Now, I'll give it a class. I'll give it head. Let me give it head. Hmm? Thank you. Or I'll just give it header. Thank you. Now, at this part, in this place, I want to. Well, the next thing is to. Uh, the next thing here is what can we find in the head part? One, we can find the navigation, right? Navigation bar. And what do we mean by what understand by navigation bar? Anyone? Mm-hmm.
Application bar is like the section in the website where you are able to go through parts of the
Okay.
website. Yeah, it's
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Navigation bar is the part of the website that gives you the direction. Should we put it like that? Thank you. Direction of your words in your website, right? For example, now the next thing we are going to do is create the navigation bar at the head parts. So I'm going to say navigation. We have a tag for that. So I'm going to say navigation. You understand? So in my navigation, what did I want? I want a logo at a particular part, let me say at the left part, and I need some text that we are going to use to navigate through our what through our website. Thank you. Now the first thing I'm going to do is let me use H1. Should I use let me use H2 for that? That's done. I would love to use span. There's difference between using H1 and H2, this heading part, and what span. One, the difference is if when you use H1, there's always a space, let me say padding around that what around the text. But when you use span, we call it line or line height or something like that. So the line height will be reduced. You understand? Compared to when you use H1 and H2 and the other one. You understand? Thank you. So I'm going to use span here. You can also increase the size of what you can also do any styling you want with this one span. So that's why this one is being a good option for me. So I'm going to say, I mean, what name should we give to our website, to the logo? Let me say fitness. Fitness. So I will call it fitness. Or don't let us call it fitness. We just call it, let's call it YFP. YFT, right? Thank you. That's Y in capital letter. YFT. YFT. You can even make it small letter. So you can just call it, let's call it YFT. I want to give it in small letter, so we can do the capital letter later in our styling. Now, thank you. Now, the next thing to do here is to what? Is to go to the list, right? And how do we use to create a list in CSS, in HTML? Sorry, that's the UL, right? Thank you. I'm going to say UL in this part. So the UL followed by what? Followed by the list, I mean, thank you. But followed by the list. But the text inside that list, I want it to be what? To be responsive. I mean, when you click on it to take it to another part of the website. So what will I use? Thank you. I'm going to use the A tag. So that will give you this. Thank you. Now, where is it going to? That's what we are going to put in this place. And what text do you want to write into it? That's what we are going to write in this place. So here I'm going to write home. You understand? I'm going to write home. Here I'm going to write. Let's write arch home. Arch home. You understand? The next one I'm going to do is just copy this one. You understand? Just copy and paste for like one, two, three, four. Let me say five or four. Let's say four, because we need some other one, two, three, four. So I want this to be what? What do you want? What can we? What can we? What service? Okay, let's say service. Thank you. I guess I remember service. Service. Sorry, service. What other thing can we have on our website? We can have, let me say, plans. Plans. Other things. We have about us. That is, you want to talk about the particular website. Let me say about us. You understand? So what can we do again? You have sign up. That is where you want. Let me say blog at least. Just to write blog about what, about the fitness of what of the, just write something about fitness in your website. I mean, so let me say blog here. Thank you. Now the next thing I'm going to say, let me okay the next let me put sign up, sign in, sign up. But let's put sign up here. At least you need to sign up before you have access to their contents. You understand? Do you understand? So now the next thing we are going to put, let's change all this to service, all this required, so this to be planned, this to be about us. Just put about. Okay, let's put it underscore us. And this will be blog, right? Why this will be sign up. Sign up. Thank you. Now let's see what we have been doing uh in our webs okay, in our browser. So I'm going to come to the HTML file in this place. You understand? Then I'm going to right click on the file. Right clicking on the file, I'm going to go to copy paths. You understand? Click on the copy part. What did I just do? I copy the parts of my file in my local what? In my local storage. You understand? So this will only be what? This can only be viewed on your browser in your system. You understand? So these have not been pushed maybe online in which someone maybe another person will be able to have access to your website. You understand? Then if nothing I'm going to do is come to this place. Sorry, come to this side. I'm going to right click this, this. Now you can see this is our logo and this is the list we what we created. Thank you. Now the next thing we are going to do is come in. Let's tie that first. So I'm going to come to my CSS. The first thing I'm going to do is star or thank you, and I want padding of what of zero for all, and I want margin of what, margin of 0 pixels for all, and I want box what, box sizing of what, of border box. Thank you. So the next thing we are going to do is, okay, let's see what we just do on our websites. Thank you. So we don't want any space and unnecessary space on our website. Now the next thing we are going to do is style the general navigation bar. So here I'm going to style this bar starting from here. Start from here and what and terminates in this place. So I'm going to go to uh my CSS and say navigation. Why I'm using navigation because we only have one navigation bar here. Now with thank you. The next thing is to, what is the first thing we're going to start in our navigation bar? I'm going to give it a width. You understand? I'm going to give it a width of what? Of 100%, 100%, sorry, 100%, and with the height of what? Height of, let me say, 40 pixels. You understand? Thank you. Let's give it a background color to see what we have done. Give it this background color to see what we have done on our website. Thank you. Now I think that's cool, right? Thank you. So let me just increase it to 50 pixels at least. No, 50 pixels is too much. Let's make it 45 pixels at least. Okay. Thank you. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to this. I'm going to come here and say, okay, let's go to our HTML to know the next thing we are going to do. Here, I'm going to I'm going to okay, now I want my content, this list, I'm sorry, this list to come to this side, and this YFT to what? To come to this side. Do you understand? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call to this my CSS at this place. I'm going to say display what? Display flex. So at least that will bring this at the side of this one. Do you understand? Thank you. So they're actually side by side, right? Thank you. They're actually side by side. Now, the next thing we are going to do is okay. Thank you. Now you can see this YPF, this text is actually beside this list, right? Thank you. Now we want to differentiate. We want to put this apart. At least this list should come to this side, while that logo will stay at this side. Do you understand? Thank you. The next thing is to come to this side and say something like justify. Want want it to be what he wants it to be. Let me say justify content to be space between. Thank you. Justify content to be space between. Click on that. Thank you. You can see how this actually move to the normal space, right? Thank you. So I'm going to style the text. Let's go to this text first, right? I'm going to come to this text. I'm going to give it an ID of what? Of logo. Thank you. So go to your CSS and say something like arch logo and open your parentheses and give the properties you want for your logo. So what property do you want for our logo? So the first thing I'm going to say, I want a font size of what? I want font size of, let me say, 20 pixels. Let's see, maybe is that too big? 20 pixels, okay, not too big. So I'll give it 30, 30 because it should be visible. Thank you. I think that's okay. So don't forget, I want some everything in this place to fall at the center. So I'm going to say align what? Align item to be what? To be at the center. You understand? So thank you. The next thing I'm going to do is come to our website and see what you have done. Thank you. Everything actually falls at center. Now, the next thing we are going to okay, after the font size of of the logo, I'm going to say I want the font weight. I want to give it a font weight. I will go that's 60, 600. That's bold. I have 600. I want to give it family of what I want sans serif. You understand? So the next one, the next thing I'm going to do, I want to say text. Guess what? Text transform to what? To uppercase. That's done. I want it to what? To be at uppercase. So let's see what we have done here. Thank you. Mhm. Thank you. Now I want the color. I want to change the color. I don't like this color black. So I want the color to what? To be white. Thank you. White. Okay. I think white is okay. But I don't want okay. Let's just put it as white for now. For now, let's put it as white. Now I think we are done with this part. Now let's move to this next part. So that will give us, so what we are going to do there is we are actually styling this, right? Thank you. So the first property we are going to, okay, going to do there is UL, right? And we're going to, the first thing is to say, let me say, dif, dis, display to be flex. Now, it will be side by side, right? Thank you. Display to be flex around it to what? After displaying the text to what? Side by side by using what? Um, display flex, right? So the next thing we are going to do is what? The next thing we are going to do is we want to remove the styling, the default styling of what? Of those texts, right? We are going to say list what? List style to be what? Be none. List style to be none. So what's the next thing? Yeah, so I'll go to come to my website, refresh. Now, thank you. You can see the list style. I mean, the default style, the dots and the other one have been what have disappeared, right? Thank you. So the next thing we are going to do is what? Go to the list li, right? So what do you want to do at the li part, at the li level? Eh? So here now we want to create what? You can see that one. Let me see. You can see that the list the list items are close, very close to each other, right? Very close to each other. You can actually you can you can separate it with li, but the best way to separate it with what is the a tag. You know those texts, they're actually present at the a tags, right? So we are going to go to our a tags in this side. I'm going to say a tag, right? A tag. Then I want to give padding to our what? Padding left. Padding to our text. I'm going to say padding left to be what? 30 pixels. And I want them to have a color of white. Yeah, I want them to have color of white. I want them to have color of white. So I'm going to say color to be what? To be white. Color to be white. Thank you. Go back to the website, refresh it. I'm going to have something like this. So I don't think we can see it very well, but don't worry. Let's change the background color to the better one we want. So this place, I want something like blue, or not that blue, deep, deep. Let me say deep, something like this. Thank you. So we can actually go to color picker. You understand? We call it color picker. Color what? Color picker. You understand? To pick the color you actually want for your what? For your text or for the background. You understand? So I'm going to come here, color picker. If anyone, color picker. Oh, okay. So I think let's choose this one. This one will be okay, right? So I'm going to copy the what? Let me copy this. I can copy this. Just that. Just copy. Then come to your code. So instead of white in this place, I'm just going to remove it and put this one at the place. So, oh no, 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 sorry. Control Z. I want it at this part. Just so I want that part. So I'm going to come to our website, refresh it. Then we have something like that. Just thank you. Now, but you can see that one, we can still have something like this underline, right? So how can we remove that? Huh? So how can we remove that? We have to come to our eh? Text decoration. Then we have what? We have text decoration to be what? To be none. At least we don't want any what any default decoration to our text. So I'll come here now. Removed. Thank you. Now, the next thing is to go to the main parts of the heading. Okay. Yeah.
Someone that's sitting from front and next to
Okay, the text, right? Okay, now that means we have to increase the text font, right? Thank you. Now let's go to the font. Let's say font size. So let's give it something like let me say 20 pixels. I see. Is that not too big? Let's check. Thank you. I think this is okay, right? With your question. Thank you. Now the next thing we are going to do here is let's check our website. Now, the next part we are going to, inside the same section of the head, we are going to the main part, that is the main head. Just in which we are going to insert our, here we are going to insert a, I'm going to call it a background image. Just so then I'm going to come to this side just to get image in which we are going to use for the for the background for the background image. You understand? Thank you. So I do download image from Unsplash. Unsplash is actually a website to download image, a very good quality image. You understand? Thank you. So I'm going to go. I will type download download fitness fitness image. Then I will add Unsplash. That's how I download it. So can just click on this. I think this is okay. Want something clear, want something good, want something good. So, okay, I want something with good. Okay, I think this is okay. I like this. I like this guy. I love the boots. So, I'm going to save this image, save the image, and I'll call it, let me call it any name. Let me give it any name. That's image, and give it image 2. Thank you. Then save it. Thank you. Now you can just drag and drop to my website, to the folder. So just drop it here. Thank you. So we are going to have the image at this part. Thank you. So the next thing we are going to do is you can see the image, right? Thank you. Now let's go back to uh, our HTML, right? Now immediately after the nav section, we're going to say main. I'm just writing main. You understand? Thank you. So open it. Inside the main, I want a background image for this main. So I'm going to give it a class of what? Let me give it a class of main. Still the same main. You understand? Still the same main. You understand? Thank you. Now still the same main. Um Let me give it a random text. Do you understand? So let's just say H1 or H1. Let me say span. I love using span because of the responsiveness. I'm going to get say fitness, just normal fitness, just to see what we are doing. Fitness. Now I'm going to go to my, yeah, if you come to this if you now come to our website now, the only thing we are going to see in this part is what is this fitness, right? This fitness text. So now I want a background image at that section. So what I'm going to do is come to this part. I can just say main, because it's very good. It's a very good practice to uh to give comments main when you are designing your website. You understand? So I'm going to say this, and this. You understand? So the next part, I'm going to write what we know as the background. But before that, we are going to initiate it with this our main class, right? Thank you. So in our CSS, I'm going to write dot what? Dot main and open it like this, right? So what do we want to do there? What practice do you actually want to initiate in that site? So we want to initiate the what? The background image. So this is the background image. Click and we are going to use URL. URL to what? To locate where the image is. Then this column. So now we insert the name of this image. You understand? So I'm going to say image image underscore 22 dot what? Dot avif. Thank you. So let's do it here. Thank you. Now you can see this image is something as you can see one, two, three, but very small and what? It's very small and I think it's actually repeating this side, right? That's not, so we have to go back to our CSS and give it do some properties. So yeah, I'm going to give it a width of what? I'm going to give that particular section a width of, let me say, 100%. 100 what? 100%. 100%. And the what? And the height. Let's just give it a height of what? Height of 100 VH. 100 VH. So let's see what we have done. Click on this. Thank you. Now you can see the image. Now, so you can see that the image is actually repeating. Hmm? And we don't want something like this. So what we are going to do is, I'm going to come to my CSS. I'm going to say background what? Background repeat. I don't want it to repeat, so I'm going to choose what? No repeat. Thank you. So the next thing, let's check. I don't want it to repeat. Now, we don't want it to repeat. That's why it's actually giving us something like this, right? Thank you. So the next thing we are going to do is, uh, okay, background. Okay, we want it to be full. So background what? We want background size to be what? To be cover. We want it to cover what? The screen, that position, right? That section. Now when I click it, it's going to cover what? Cover the section. It's going to take the what? The height and the what? And the width automatically. Now thank you. Now the next thing we are going to do is to what? To give some properties. We still need some properties. So position to be what? I want the position of this image to be at the center, and I want again. We want okay, okay. I think that's okay for now. Let's repeat. Let's refresh our website. That's something like this. It's actually at the center now. Thank you. So, what next, class? Okay. So the next thing is to write the text to what? To all this. Now, all I'm going to say is on this text inside the I'm going to okay in my HTML inside this section I'm going to claim this. Yes, and I'm going to write main fitness or what text could you write? I'm not good in forming words. You can just say great fitness or just any word. So you can just say great, 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 sorry, great what? Great fitness, great fitness. Thank you. Now, the next thing is to write a text as we're going to use a paragraph. So I'm going to use a paragraph that's be the master of your earth. So, okay, let's say be 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 the master of your earth. Be the master of your earth. Now the next thing is to what? A button to what? To join the what? To join the community. You understand? Thank you. I'm going to write that with A. button as a button tag. Thank you. Inside the button tag, what do we want? We want to say join what? Join now. Thank you. Now, I think we are okay. See what we have done on our website. Thank you. Great. Can you see everything how it looks like in this side? Thank you. Now, we want everything to come to the center of what? Of our main what? Thank you. So what are we going to do? So we are going to go to our style, right? Don't forget this main is the one encapsulating what everything with inside that container, right? Thank you. So we are going to come to this section to our CSS. Sorry, let me close this. Thank you. So we are going to come to our CSS and say dot what? Dot main. Okay, no, sorry. Okay, okay, we already have dot main. We already have a class of main. So what we are going to say is what? We are going to say text, right? Is it text align? Or let me see. Okay, let's use text align. Text align to be what? To be center. No, we don't want text align to be center. We want justify what? Justify content to be what? To be at the center. And we want what are they calling it? We want the text items to what to align at the center. Let's click on it. I don't think it will work. Let's thank you. Actually, there's an issue in this place that do brings people down. You understand? So here, these texts are just like time bomb. They are not what they are not properly what mannered. They are not properly displayed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this my main parts. Come to main. I'm going to say df as display flex display to be what flex as putting side by side. But I don't want to be I don't want them to be side by side. What I'm going to say is what I'm going to say flex what flex direction is what I want to put it as what as column. I want the flex direction to be at what at column. So if when I refresh my website, I should see something like this. Thank you. Now they are at the center right now. Do you understand? So now let's try to style our website. Now let's try to style this text. The first one that's great fitness. But I want this fitness to be in different color. Maybe pink, yellow, gold, something like that. You understand? I'm going to go to my HTML. So this text, this fitness, I'm going to wrap it with what? I'm going to wrap it with another what? Another okay, thank you. Span. It says span. Thank you. So I'm going to paste it back inside this one. So in this span, I'm going to give this span an ID of what? An ID of um color text. Color what? Color text. So I'm going to give this one heading. No, head text. Okay. Just to differentiate head text. Head text. Thank you. Now I'm going to go back to my CSS and do something like this. So I'm going to say head test, head test, right? Open this bracket and say I want everything to have a font what font size of let me say 40 pixels. 40 pixels is it not too big? 40 pixels is not too big. I will increase it. I can increase it to what? Let me increase it to something like 60. 60 pixels. I think this is okay, right? I still want it to be good. Let me say 65. 65 will be okay. And I want my what? Font weight of what? Of 600. And I want font what? Font family of what? Of San. I think that's the font family we'll be using. That's font what? That's font sans serif. Now, thank you. Now, this great fitness. Now, I want this text, everything to be white, right? Thank you, except this what? except fitness. So all I need to do is what? Come to this place and say color to be what? Color to be white. Color to be white. Thank you. White. I mean white. Okay, close to white. Sorry for that. I want the color to be white. Thank you. So let's refresh it. Let's go back to our website. Consider everything will be what? Will be white. Okay. This background is white. So what I'm going to do is I want this one to be another color. But I want it to be white. I want it to be white. Maybe we're going to change the okay. Let's just make it black at least to see what we are doing. I'll make it black, default color. Thank you. Okay. So uh then I would like to change the color of this, right? Thank you. So I'm going to say okay, okay. In this part, that's the second part, that's Arch Edwards Ed Abi. What is it? As color text, sorry. Color text. Color text. So the first thing I'm going to say is color to be what? So I don't want any color. I want to choose color in my color picker. So I want to choose this color. I want to choose something like this. I want to choose something like this, right? Choose something like this. So all I need to do is copy, then come to my HTML, come to my CSS, sorry, then paste. So let's go to our website and see what we have done. This. So I want it to be like this, right? Thank you. Now the next thing is this text with a paragraph, right? I guess so. So let's go. Okay, with paragraph, that's P. Then we only have one paragraph there, so we don't need to stress ourselves. So we just say that would just be P, right? Then we have want it to have font what? Font size of 20 is okay. Font size of 20 is okay. I want text transform to what? To uppercase, and I want the color to be what? To be white. But not really white. Let's choose another color. Maybe that's going to give us another thing entirely there. So thank you. You can't see this one. This one is not really showing very well. So I'm going to change it to another thing. Okay, I'll just leave it at okay. Let me leave it then. Just leave it. Okay. Let me give it another color. Let me give it another color. Maybe okay, let me give it white because I may change the background later. You understand? Let me give it white. Then let me give it white. Let me give it white. And the next thing we are going to do is the color. But before the color, I want the egg text to have a text transform of what to what to uppercase. So let's see. I want it to have text transform to uppercase. Thank you. Now, this is what I'm saying about using H1 and H span. You can see the distance between here is not that much. You understand? So thank you. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to style this button. This button is not really looking good now. So the next thing is to go to our style. Yeah, style. Thank you. CSS file, and we're going to say button. We only have one button there, so we don't need to differentiate it with others. The button, I want it to have a width of what? A width of, let me say, 120, 150 pixels. 50 pixels, and height of what? Height of 50 pixels. I want it to have height of 50 pixels, and I want it to have a background color. Background color. Background color of, is this brown? What? Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's leave it as brown, right? Thank you. So the next thing we are going to do is want, okay, background color of that. We want border radius. Want it to have a border radius of 5 pixels. Border radius should not be too much. Border radius of 5 pixels, and we want what? We want border what? We don't want any border style, right? Hmm? Thank you. We don't want any border style, so we say border style was to be none. Thank you. Thank you. We have something like that. Now we want the text to be white and also increase. So I'm going to say text. Say color. Color to be white. White. I want font what? Font size to be something like 15 pixels. 15 pixels. Let's see what we have done there. Okay, 15 pixels. Is it not too small? Okay, it's not too small. Then the next thing we are going to do is I want text. Text what? Text transform to what? To uppercase. I think everything is transformed to uppercase, so we don't need, can even clean everything, then put it at this place. Do you understand? At the general stuff, at the general styling. I mean the global styling there. So that don't let us stress ourselves. So just thank you. I think that's it. So the next thing is you can see the button here is so close to this text, right? Thank you. Now, so the next thing we are going to do is to differentiate. Let's try let's do that. Let's give it space. So what I'm going to do is, okay, inside the button, I'm going to come in and say I want to give it a margin. Margin of what? I want to give it a margin top of what? Let me say 40, 50, 50 pixels. Let's see what that will give us. Thank you. I think that's okay. 50 what? 50 pixels. So, uh, yeah, at these parts, I want, you can see this text is somehow so close to this place, right? To the edge. I mean, at the navbar section. You understand? So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do something like this padding. So, I'm going to come to the navbar. So, I will say, I want my text. I want it to have an horizontal padding. That's what that's px, right? But here we are going to say p padding what? We are going to say padding to be 0 pixels and what? 0 pixels and let's say 30 what? 20 pixels and just say padding left. That's so I think it's okay like this. I think it's okay. So let's increase it a little bit because of this sign up. So I'm going to say 30 instead of 20. So 30 what? 30 pixels. I think it's okay like this. So you can see how cool what? How cool it looks. You understand? You can see how cool the website looks. So, but I want to change the background, this background color. I don't really love that. I'll come here and do something like this. I want something like this. I want something like this. Uh, let's choose this. This picture is very okay. Very okay. You can just give it image what? Image underscore 23. Thank you. Come here. I'll come here. Insert it here. See the same thing if it will give us something good. So going to come to my HTML, no CSS. We change the background image. So instead of this one, I'm going to say three in three. So let's see what that will give us. Now we can see that it has actually the background color that we change, and we can actually visualize this text be the master of your own earth. Now the next thing, let's change this color. I don't like this black, so I have to come here and do something like this. I want to come here, this text, okay, this text, add text, right? So I'll give it a color. Give it a color of what? Of white. So everything we have color of white except the fitness in which we have give a particular color. That's great what? Great fitness. I think this is okay. I think this is making sense. It's making something
So
good here.
that
Okay.
the color of white the be the master of your health.
Okay.
It's not too visible.
Okay, you mean the white there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, due to the background color. Understand? So if we use a very dark background color, we are going to see everything so good. But I mean background image, I'm sorry.
Mm.
Understand?
What if you should change the right of maybe a pink color?
Pink. Okay, something pink or something. So all you need to do is just to go to your image or your CSS file and what change the background the color, not the background color, the color to that. You understand? So thank you. So I think we have come to the end of this section. So thank you. God bless you. See you next time.